The seal.
The seal, but is it last week or this week? Oh, now it's this week.
We get you get a lot of requests for that seal.
From Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
And this is Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski, and I am not alone this week, although I sometimes wonder, but...
I'm alone inside my head.
That's okay. And DJ, you're back.
I'm back. I've been gone for like weeks and weeks and weeks.
Well, we had a couple fill-ins, but...
Fill-ins? Who's Phil?
We had...
Dave?
Yeah, Dave's
not here.
He didn't make it last week, though, but...
Yeah. I hate it when you're alone here because I tune in and you're just like, hey, I'm Kaz.
You know, sometimes I talk to the seal up on the wall there, but we get a lot of requests. Not that seal.
A seal of approval.
Yes, it's been a nice week. How about you? You want to give the rules of the engagement, or
the rules of engagement are: be nice. Nothing is off limits except be nice and don't swear.
Just be civil.
Be civil.
Yeah, there you go.
What is civil? What's that even mean? Does anybody know what the word civil means?
It's supposed to mean like nice, reasonable, polite,
no punching,
polite. How's that?
No yelling, no kicking, no spitting.
Wouldn't be any fun, would it?
No pulling any hair.
So what did you learn in the last 2 weeks? Anything?
In the last 2 weeks, I learned that it's Taxpayers Hotline.
There you go. Well, we got a call. Go ahead, caller.
Howdy.
Go ahead, caller.
Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Hi.
Uh-oh.
Let's just talk to each other. Hey, Kaz, how's it going?
Bad.
Oh, apparently.
If you want to call back, something happened there.
That is what we call a phone fail.
Yes.
We had a phone fail. You can call back if you like. And, let's try this again.
Let's try it again.
Let's go. Taxpayers.
Go ahead, caller.
Who's the guy wearing the Russian babushka?
That's Ivan Kurikov.
No, this is my motorcycle.
Huh?
Well, you went with all those. You were all with all those. What is it? The Molotovs, the Popovs, the Kolotovs?
Yeah, I mean
The Popovs.
the Molokovs, the Petrovs, the Peganovs.
Yeah, there were so many of those.
Good old Russian guys.
Yeah.
The Alexes.
Between the skis and the offs, the east side was loaded, weren't they?
Between my block on 2nd Street all the way to German, from 2nd to 6th Street.
Hey, wait, DJ and I are going to salute you. Ready?
Go ahead.
We're going to give you a moment of silence
Yeah.
for the fact that you are now, like me, a man without a high school.
I still have a high school.
Not really. East High School's gone.
In 61. So I still have a high school.
What do you mean, 61?
That's when I graduated.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have a high school right now. It's gone.
Well, they never thought we had one when we were there.
I mean, you don't have a football team like me now or anything.
No, we don't have a Jack Polanski to stick it at us all the time.
No, but I'm giving you a moment of silence because I know what you're going through.
You know, that's a shame.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And now they say the teachers, the school board doesn't want to give them the early retirement.
Well, they're
waiting for the state to see what they're going to do.
Well, I heard they couldn't get enough people to take it up, so they canceled it.
Well, the teachers are that greedy.
Well, I don't know what they offered. I tell you, when I was on the board, they had there was a year or two where they actually had 2 incentive packages. One was from the state, and one was from the school district, which was very lucrative,
Why would the state want to give them a package?
I don't know. It was. I can remember it was a while back, and it was very lucrative. It just was, maybe it was a way to get younger teachers again into the system,
They want to get younger teachers because they don't have their Bachelor of Arts, their Masters, and they get a lower pay.
Well, all the teachers in the district have to have masters or be working towards one in our district.
And in our district, they get the school district to pay for their advancement, don't they?
No.
They don't?
No, they used to, but what happens is if you get a master's, they don't pay for it, but you go on a different matrix level.
Yeah.
So I mean, but as a condition of employment, when I left as a school director, you either had to have your master's or be pursuing one actively.
We're just an associate working on a master's.
Right, and then when you got your master's, of course, I mean, you got your, what do you call it, your, trying to think of the term, as you get more years, you move up the ladder, you know.
Tenure.
Yeah, as you get your more tenure, that way you get more pay, but they don't actually pay for your education. You had to outlay that, but then the kickback was that, you know, as a master's with so many years, you got more pay, you know.
Now, when I went to school, we had a bunch of PhDs teaching.
Yeah, that's a little probably overkill for high school, you know.
True, but you know, we had a lot of great guys. We had Barber. We called him Diamond Jim. He never wore the same suit every day of the week. Never the same pair of.
Sounds like Flo Fabrizio.
Pardon?
Sounds like Flo Fabrizio.
Well, yeah. Well, don't forget. And I'll tell you what, when you went down to his office, you were saying, "Do I meet Mr. Board or what?"
Mr. Ford.
So what? Fool around in those days.
So what did you call about, John?
What's that? Oh, I called about I was going to make observation on the lot at 32nd and Raspberry.
Oh, I went by there. That was you know what? That is a classic.
That used to be a fantastic lot.
Yeah, you know, I had the wrong house when the guy told me.
Southeast corner.
Yeah, I was thinking of the other one that was kitty corner, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I went by there, and in discovering that one, I discovered another one about 3 houses away.
A block down further.
Yeah, heading north like.
Yeah, that used to be a fantastic flower garden. Somebody must have either passed away or got too old.
Yeah.
They let that go. And you know, right across the street, there's a house that's tagged, that's empty. I think the one on 32nd and Raspberry has a notice on it, too.
I think it did. I pulled in the driveway, and I tell you, that was an early entry into our urban farming.
That house?
Yeah, it looked like a wheat field when I got there. My God, and I tell you, that grass is high.
Yes, it is. Well, we have a guy up here that would let it go that high unless Rob stays on them all the time.
Well, I have a list of about 10 or 15 more that I'm going to be turning in shortly again. I just took a little ride this weekend. It was like an eye-opener.
Yeah.
I took a ride this weekend, too. You know, I saw the yellow double stripes that the city is laying down their traffic lines, but I don't see any crosswalks in yet.
I don't know why painting is always done late, you know.
Yeah.
And by the time we paint, it's already wintertime.
Well, I'll tell you what, I see more paint on the truck than on the road. That brand new pickup truck they got?
Yeah.
They're the ones that do the hand painting. Not the spray with the unit. And another thing I haven't seen around is a sewer cleaner. We've got trees growing out of the sewers up here in Southeast Erie.
Well, they've been pretty good to me. If you want to give me a couple, you know, call me, drop me a couple.
From 42nd and Page, or not, from 38th and Page all the way up to Grandview on both sides of the road.
On Page Street.
Yeah.
You said that all the sewers are pretty bad?
And I haven't seen a sewer cleaner up here in 20 years.
Wow.
Because when I do call, they get out pretty good. I've had good luck with them. They fixed some.
They're caving in.
They've even fixed some. What do you call it? Some sewers for me, and you know.
Well, you know, if you're talking about sewers, have you seen 38th Street? Have you gone by there yet?
Which part of it?
From let's say French Street all the way to McClellan.
Yeah.
And it looks like they had bombs going off down in the middle of the streets.
They're working on today. They're working on near the Cornerstone.
Yeah, they're putting in a big patch on the side of the road.
Looks like they're tearing out the corner a little bit, so they could, probably because of the new turning radius they need.
Well, they're going to be coming down with the chewer pretty soon, I hope.
Well, I haven't heard anything. I'm going to try to check on it. But
it's amazing. I do hope the new mayor, whoever he is, looks at all the old and new regulations, the ordinances on the book, and kind of straightens them out and gets to work with code enforcement and put some teeth in it.
well, yeah, I got disappointed. I was watching on TV. There's all kinds of ordinances about grass height and everything. It just comes down to the will to enforce them, or...
Yeah, the fifth floor is sitting on his guff waiting to get out.
I mean, when you live next door to, like, that thing at... if I lived next door to 32nd Raspberry, I'd be... I'd be embarrassed. I mean, that's like... What do you
live next door to Pine Avenue in Stanley.
Yeah, I got a field next to me that's...
Yeah.
He did cut it once this year, and he's starting to, again, but...
Yeah.
We got to get more teeth in it for the landlord. Just like you had that guy come in, he owned the property from Florida.
Yeah, I got one that I was told he's just a SOB to deal with, so they kind of leave him alone, and I'm going, why do we do that?
Yeah.
Why do we allow people to dictate? We are the law, not them.
True, and that guy came in and he was all indignant, yelling about trailers and whatever. Does he have the perception that people who live in trailers are that old saying, trailer trash?
Well, no, but I think what he's getting at, though, is I have a couple complaints on trailers that are in areas that they're not being taken care of, and they were not, it's kind of like it slipped through the cracks. I don't think people are against them, but I think when they're not taking, like, I got one complaint where they're actually running a business out of one.
Well, you look, there's trailers all over. They're down in Wesleyville, and he complained about that. He says he doesn't want to be like Wesleyville. Boy, if I was there from Wesleyville, I think I would give him a real hello.
But we got a lot of, we have to get a little more aggressive in
yeah, we sure do.
dealing with all this, like,
Get off and
grass and,
I got a couple more beef, so.
yeah, grass and junk is getting bad, John.
Yes, it is. So I'll listen.
Okay, call back if nobody calls.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point in being a toothless tiger? You got to make rules, and you hold people to the rules, and if they don't, you take the land. That should be the order of things.
Well, you can't
clean it up and do what you got to. I don't understand why.
I keep talking. Well,
you have eminent domain. Why can't you just eminent domain all over?
It's tough to take property in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So what we've been trying to do is
we're not even a state.
we work with. We've been working with between the League of Cities and working with legislators.
Yeah.
Trying to get them around the state to lighten up on the laws a little bit, because what happens is it's like you've seen that gas station on 12th Street.
Yeah, and it's finally cleaned up.
It's tough to take it away from anybody.
Yeah.
And if they don't cooperate, you got to go through the judicial system, which is ponderous. So hopefully our new, what we call quality of life ticketing, and we have to get this okayed by the state. Everything has to be okayed so that we can go out there and actually issue a citation on the spot.
Yeah.
Don't have to wait,
I have an answer.
What?
It's called scorched earth policy. If they're not going to take care of it, burn it to the ground.
Well, we're people don't like to hear doom and gloom, and it's not doom.
It's not doom and gloom.
No, but
you got to. Just like farmers, you can't just grow the same crop in the same spot and expect it to keep growing. You have to burn it to the ground so that things can renew. And I don't mean actually with fire in terms of these properties, but take the properties from the trouble people and do something good with them. Make a park.
But we do have to get aggressive, because we're at a point now where, you can put any kind of glasses you want on, rose-colored.
Oh, yeah.
But the reality is that we all need to get more aggressive, and this is all across the state.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of the cities are starting to show signs of wear and tear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you take a ride and you look and you go, you know, the old ways are not working, okay?
No.
Being nice. Everybody's, you know, it's time. You're going to have to get aggressive. And you hate to say come in and bulldoze things, but maybe that's what you have to do.
In some cases, I believe that's the answer.
I was surprised. We passed that urban farming thing.
Yeah.
And majority of people, I think, understand it and are in favor of it.
Yeah.
A couple thought that we're turning the city into farmlands, but I don't think they understand the concept that this is not you're still going to have to go through a process.
It's not a commercial venture
And-
either. They're not making tons and tons of food and selling it for profit. We're talking about little
Yeah,
gardens.
well, I mean, we're not going to have cornfields all
Yeah,
over the city,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, in certain areas, if you want to have a communal garden,
Yeah.
you know,
I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. To me, a lawn is a waste. You put water on it and you put fertilizer and you make it big and green and lush, but it looks good, but what is the point? You can't eat it, you know?
Yeah.
Gardens are a good
well,
idea.
years ago,
so
gardens
you could eat.
Gardens were all over the city years ago.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
You could still have one in your backyard.
Oh, yeah.
What we're getting at is commercial, you know.
Yeah, I understand. They don't want it being just all farms as far as you can see, but
Well, like the Sisters of St. Joseph, they got some all around town.
yeah, and that's fantastic.
And, you know, they take an empty field and rather than it turning into well, and I'll say this, a den of iniquity where people
Yeah.
are selling drugs or
stuff like that
garbage is
happens
showing up,
everywhere.
you know.
Yeah.
They got a communal garden.
I mean, I'd love to see even, you know, on your block, if you wanted to, you could get the neighbors together and tear everything out of that yard that's overgrown, turn it into a little garden, turn that into a communal garden.
Let's say, you know, if the guy that owns it would be willing, you know. Because when you look at it,
If
you
they
go,
don't communicate, then just do it.
I mean, you look at it and you go, you know, it's sitting there as an attraction.
Yeah, it's attracting animals and bugs and
We got a couple of deer in there. I know that.
mosquitoes. I don't know, man. This is people get away with too much, and they think that they can. They think that there's no rules or the rules don't apply to them.
It is. As you drive, you know, as you drive around now, you see a lot of that.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. We just need to get together, you know, as a society and help each other and get these things cleaned up and fixed up.
But
I don't know how, but
yeah, it was a good thing in the paper. I saw that there's a group now of business people that want to develop downtown.
good.
And see, now you hear. Go ahead, caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, hello. I'm just listening here, and something came up in my head about the gasoline tax. Does the city get any of that money that they raised a tax on the gasoline in the state?
Indirectly, we do. They call it the liquid fuel tax. We get a percentage of that. You know, state gets a lot of it. We get a little cut. It varies from year to year. We use that tax for. We're allowed to use it for road repair. We can use it to buy equipment that's used on roads, or we could, in our case, we use a lot of it to pay for the street lights around the city. But yeah, we do. They call it liquid fuel tax.
That's what, you know, the way it's, well, I think they said the state of Pennsylvania is the highest one in the nation as far as gasoline tax now.
Yeah, but the state uses a lot of that tax for their own purposes. That's to fund the bridges and the road projects. They do return a little bit to the communities through liquid fuels, but they keep the vast majority of it.
Okay, that's what they said. They needed all the bridges fixed in the state.
Oh, they're a mess. If you drive, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
a friend of mine is the city engineer, and we were talking about how when he was working for a couple different companies, he was telling me how some of the bridges over the old Wintergreen Gorge, and even some of them in the city. I mean, we talk about the McBride Viaduct, for instance.
Yeah.
And you look at these. Well, even a lot of people didn't know this. There's that little bridge near Glenwood Park that took them about a year or two to fix. Remember? near Norman Way.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, when you go over to the dock, you're actually going over a bridge until you get to the public dock. And so that was rebuilt a little bit underneath there. So there's a lot of old bridges that, are in bad shape all around the state. And you're seeing them now. The new theory is on the highway, I've been noticing this, they've been tearing down some bridges and not replacing them. Like, you notice that out in I-90?
I have.
Yeah, they're talking about they're not going to replace every overpass anymore.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, so like if a community has two roads, they may not have an overpass.
Wow.
And that's causing a lot of grief too.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But yeah, our roads in the Commonwealth are not,
Not too good, I know that. Especially I call it the two-lane roads seem to be going, they seem to be letting them go.
Yeah, that's a real problem. I mean, infrastructure in the United States right now is not paramount. Nobody gets, we fix a few roads once in a while, but I don't know what the answer is. You go to other states and the roads don't seem as in bad shape, and they're even up north sometimes,
Yeah, I noticed that, and any time you go down south, of course, they don't have the winter down there.
No, you're right there.
To contend with, and they are a lot better shape, and they stay better for a longer period. But
it's even funnier that the further north you go, like when you get up into Minnesota, I think because it stays colder longer, they don't have the cycle we do where it's warming and freezing and warming and freezing. And
yeah,
if it stays cold, you're probably better off, actually.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, because that's what causes those, that's what the people tell me, that the water, when it contracts and freezes and melts underneath there. But yeah, we do get a little cut. It's not I wish I had the number on me, but we do get a little cut from the state.
I was just wondering if we were going to get a little bit more because the taxes went up on the gasoline.
Yeah, I don't know what the formula is. I could check, see if I don't know if we go up automatically when they raise taxes or not.
Okay.
But
well, they're going to keep as much as they can. So.
Yep, we use like I say, we use a lot of ours to pay for the street lighting, which is permissible.
Okay. Well, we need that too. So.
Yep.
I guess you answered my question.
Yep. I should take a look at bring my budget up here sometime and see how much liquid fuels is.
To see if it's increased. That's what I was, If they're going to increase my taxes, what I pay for, I want to see some on my own street,
Yeah. Well, that's what's interesting is we haven't seen the final form of the bill, but this $500,000 that Councilman Mirsky and I fought hard to get in the legislation, and Representative Harkins and Roy and Fabrizio and all of them put it into the and Bizarro put it all into the new gaming bill. Mm-hmm. If we were to get that $500,000, I believe part of it could be used for road repair. I got to check into the bill, actually. It's earmarked for public safety, and I thought like capital improvements, which could be road repair.
Nice.
Well, that'd be a good thing.
Yeah, if we could, because we're trying to, if we can get some money dedicated to road. I'd like to talk to whoever the new mayor is about, trying to put some money aside for road repair on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But, you got to be careful not to raise taxes too much if you have to.
Yeah.
But the fear is that, the way things go up in price, we probably will have to raise taxes someday in the future again. You hate to say that, but nothing stays the same,
Well, that's one thing we're sure of, about taxes are always going to go up.
Yeah, what we got to do in the cities, we got to find a way to get more of the nonprofits paying something, and we got to get more people and businesses moving back into the city.
Yeah.
Well,
call it, more people moving back into the city, and
Yeah, that's
you're
the,
saying the non-profits, but we gotta watch the next time that somebody says we're going to tear this down and put a non-profit in there.
yeah, that's what scares me about a lot of things that,
Yeah.
they do a lot of good work, but at the same time, the more nonprofits we got, and with a declining population,
Right.
and the assessed value of houses are going down, so even when we tax, we're getting less money coming in, and with less people paying the taxes, that's a problem for those of us that are left.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Somebody, I'll give for instance, like Gannon wants to tear a building down. That's great. That's nice, but where's the taxes going to come from?
Yeah, the only thing we can do as a city is we can fight them in court, but the rules are set by the state.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know that. You have. There's only so much we can do.
Yeah, you got that big fight going on now with Erie Insurance, and you got the fight going on with the hotels,
Yep.
and
That down there, yeah.
who knows what's going to happen. I mean, at least in the case of Erie Insurance, even if we lose a little bit there, they're still paying taxes, but like anybody else, they're allowed to, what do you call it, challenge their assessment.
Right. So. Okay, I guess I guess you know what you're doing there, maybe.
Well, if I remember, I'll get you the figures, how much we get from that liquid fuel.
Okay, I'll keep watching.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
One thing I wanted to bring up
Yeah.
was in the beginning of the conversation you were talking about, how some of the roads were, having issues. And what they did in Akron was they took part of their highway, like I-77 through Akron.
Mm-hmm.
They sold a big chunk of it off to like a local hospital in Akron. So like they just shut off the highway, and that's now owned by a hospital, and they're going to fix it up and use it.
So nobody else can use it?
Nobody else can use it, so what you have to do is
Why would you do that, though?
It does two things. Number one, the city got some money for it. It helps the hospital because they're going to have their own private parkway, and it gives you the opportunity to drive people through the city.
So in other words, it doesn't service any other part of the community, probably?
Yeah, it's just going to be like privately owned by the hospital.
I mean, you don't have to pass through their property to go to your
Right, you don't. Yeah, I don't know if they haven't redesigned it yet, or if they have, they just started working on it, and I don't know where it's going to end up. But as it is now, to get into certain parts of the city, you have to go through the city, and that could have a positive benefit.
I'm just trying to understand how, like, if they, it'd be like pretty rough to knock off portions of highways.
Yeah, I don't know if we have that opportunity.
I thought maybe they were adopting it, like,
It'd be nice if they were, but
well, that's
I
something.
don't know if we have anything that we could privatize like that.
Ohio has some, they have some, I don't call it weird, very unique
Yeah.
laws.
Well, look at Pennsylvania. Like I said, we're not even a state. We're a commonwealth. So
What's interesting about Ohio is, like, we argue about the 1% tax.
Yeah.
Well, in Ohio, I do believe where you work is where that tax stays.
Right.
Where in Pennsylvania, it goes back where you live.
Yeah.
So, and then I was watching the other day that they're arguing about whether they should fix the arena in Cleveland.
Right.
And you look and they got this referendum, which we don't have here.
Yeah.
And so that people are allowed to challenge things. They got some unique laws that...
Yeah.
But like around here, I would not think it, if somebody could adopt a highway, like say a portion,
Right.
just like we adopted that bluff out there on,
Yeah.
Where people
Yeah.
pay money to have the bluff taken care of.
Yeah.
If we could do that like with portions of highways in Pennsylvania,
Yeah, that would be good. That would be a fantastic
in
thing.
lieu of taxes, like. But,
Exactly. I was going to say give them some sort of benefit from it. So, I mean, there's something to look into. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there because I'm not a politician. But
Well, I remember I read some in Chicago. I was on an airplane one time and it had nothing to do with reading.
Yeah.
I was reading this magazine. They had adopt a pothole. Now, don't laugh, okay?
okay.
What happened was they would come by and fix a pothole,
Yeah.
and every so often the company that paid for a stretch of road,
Yeah.
they put their logo on the street. Could be like the Golden Arches or the Colonel.
Cool.
I'm not kidding you on this, you know.
Writing that down. I like it.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, remember last week I called about them weeds at the Kmart?
Yeah, you know, I went by there and looked. I saw them.
Yeah, they moved another business in there.
Into where?
To where Kmart is, the U-Haul. They have a big sign on there, opening soon, U-Haul.
Right in the Kmart building, huh?
Yep.
I didn't see that. You know, I went by. I was coming in from out of town, and I looked at it. I didn't see the sign on Kmart, but
Yeah, they have a big yellow sign up there that says opening soon.
That's really a great idea because
Wow.
big stores like that have a lot of space, and you could turn them into storage facilities.
so I wonder if they're going to store the vehicles inside there.
Yep.
That'd be it. Hey, I'm going to check in on what happened there.
Yeah, I was surprised. I went by the next day, all the weeds were cut down. I looked over there, and there was a sign up there.
Yeah, the one day I saw the weeds were up, and then they were down the other day.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised. That was a little fanfare with that.
Yeah.
I bet you they're going to probably either store the equipment outside. That's a pretty big building.
Yeah, well, they had that garage, you know. Kmart had the garage. They could service
Yeah.
the trucks and everything in it.
Wow.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to use the inside for storing some vehicles too, maybe, you know?
They were working inside, so,
No, that sounds awesome.
Wow, well, at least it's a usage, but
yeah.
I was hoping for something a little different, though, but...
Yeah. Okay, I just want to let you know.
Hey, thank you for calling, and I did, like I say, I did take a ride by there. It's something we got to keep our eyes on, because otherwise, there is a field next to Dairy Queen. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
That one's a mess right next, as you come out of the Dairy Queen exit.
Yeah.
I got that one there is the same field where years ago we tore down a house up there. So I got to work on that part too, though.
Alrighty then.
Hey, thank you for calling.
Bye.
U-Haul, how about that?
Well, it may not be, something, maybe you wanted something different, but it's not a nonprofit, so they're going to pay taxes. That's a good thing, right?
Yep.
So there we go. I like that. I like the idea of taking larger, older buildings and turn them into storage facilities. I'm using one now. I rent a place to put all my stuff in, and people always are moving, so more of those places would be good.
I was up at the mall the other day. That Boscov's was really going nuts.
Boscov.
Yeah, they took over for Sears. Put a lot of work in that building.
I avoid the mall at all.
I had to go up there for... I had to go up there,
Yeah.
But...
No, I was going to tell you about I love the adopt a pothole, but I have something that's not, don't want to give anybody any eerie ideas, but what some people were doing in some big cities to get them to fix big potholes was drawing inappropriate drawings over the top of the pothole.
they had to fix it?
They had to come in and fill them up. The easiest way was to fill them. So nobody go start drawing, bad, body parts or anything on the potholes, but it got done.
The thing I saw was like a business would adopt a stretch of street,
Yeah.
and then every so often, on the ground, just like we do our chalk walk,
Yeah.
they would have like a picture of the Colonel or the Golden Arches,
Yeah.
Well, we advertise everywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Buses, uniforms.
Yeah.
Some towns, they put them on police cars in the back.
Sure.
I
want to turn this into a new Las Vegas. Maybe not the gambling, but neon. I say when you approach Erie, there should be blinking neon arrows and lights.
Are you ready for the...
I am ready. What are you going to tell me?
There's a group that doesn't like that.
What?
Yeah, I can remember there was something going down about ambient light and trying to control the signage. And I'm going, look, we're not... I'm going to say something, and don't take it out of context. We are a big city. We're not, okay?
Yeah, we're not a little city.
This is not Mayberry, okay?
We still have 100,000.
Well, it's not Mayberry. We have a business district.
Yes.
And where you have a business district, same out in Mill Creek, where we have a lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
People love neon lights, and merchants use it to attract people.
Exactly. You drive up Peach Street, and that's how you see things.
I can remember when I was a kid, I'd drive downstate. My dad would take us downtown. I thought it was, we used to go to Cleveland. And, I hadn't been to New York or Chicago at that stage of my life yet, but
Yeah.
you'd look up, and they had the, let's see, was that 10th and State, northeast corner.
Okay.
And you had this huge sign up there, and it was a Kohler beer sign.
Yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah.
You can't remember it.
I don't
You're too
remember
young.
it, but I remember
There was a glass there.
videos and pictures.
There was a big glass.
Yeah.
A tall,
Yeah,
slender.
you talked about that.
And the bottle was at an angle.
Yeah.
And the lights would come out of the bottle, the yellow would go down,
Really kind of tricky.
and then the glass would fill up correspondingly.
That's awesome.
As the beer bottle emptied out, the glass would, and then the white on top would foam
Yeah.
and sparkle.
See, that stuff's classic.
Yeah, and then I can't remember if they had a clock there. They might not have. They had the clock was over the brewery,
Yeah.
and then you go down further and they had this big lobster on this restaurant. And the claws would open and close. I'm going, that's a city, you know.
Yeah,
But yet
that's-
some people don't want to see it.
Well, maybe not in residential areas, but in commercial districts, yes.
Go ahead, caller.
I'm here to tell you about the overgrown bushes in front of the Jefferson Elementary School. I noticed that they gotten bigger over the last couple of months when I was walking past there.
Right on the front lawn?
Yeah, right on the front lawn on the East 38th Street side.
Right across from the VA hospital.
Yes.
Is it by the street or on the school property?
It's on school property.
Okay, weeds. I go right by it on the way home. I don't know how I missed that one. I saw them, they're bad over there by Central. I came over that way one day. They're growing up along the fence again.
I know how you miss it. It's because there's so much of it. It's just like, oh, that's normal.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
But I'll take a look at that, and we'll have to give the school district a call.
All righty.
Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing there when it's public property.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed they gotten so big with all the rain we've been having.
Yeah, I know they're in financial trouble, but you still got to take care of it. I mean, I came around the football field at Central one day, and their weeds were like growing up between the fences.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be. Well, I can remember even when I was on the school board, we always had this constant battle, and we had to shake them up. I remember one time the football field at Tech was so high, some kid came out of the grass and you couldn't see anybody in there. Kids were like laying down in the weeds.
Terrible. Wow.
Yeah, I'll turn that one in too.
All righty.
That'll go on my list of 15 I got now.
Right. Okay.
Hey, thank you.
Yep, thanks for calling.
Oops, sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut him off so quick.
I think he was going anyway.
Weeds everywhere.
Weeds, everywhere weeds. That's my song.
What is it? It looks bad. It does.
Welcome to Erie.
It looks
where we got
seedy.
Weeds.
It just doesn't look good, when you're trying to make an impression.
I'm going to write a weed song.
Weeds.
Not about the wacky weed, about the overgrown dandelion weeds.
But now there's a battle with, they call it natural growth.
Yeah, just don't pick anything and don't do anything to it. Just call it a preservation area.
That puts our guys under now they have to make a determination.
Yeah.
Whether it's noxious or.
Yeah, it's all dandelions and sunflowers. Can't touch it. It's natural.
Yeah.
No, there's a line. The line has been crossed.
And it's like that high.
Yeah.
That's the line.
That's the line. When it gets up to your nose, it's time to chop it.
Wait, well, you can go in there with a scythe or what do you call it?
Sickle or whatever they call the. Oh, wow, not going to happen.
I never was good at that one.
I would do that. I would dress up, lay in the black cloak, and then walk through a field with a scythe.
You're bad.
I'm bad. People would be like, it's Erie.
The Grim Reaper.
I am the grim weeder, the grim gardener. I'll do that. Just give me the property list of all the properties that are overgrown, and I'll go chopping them down.
We have a crew that goes out, but I mean they're just.
Yeah. It's overwhelming because it's everywhere.
Well, they try to get the worst ones, and then and some are actually a hazard to the kids going in there because you don't know what's in those fields.
Yeah, you don't know what's in there. You could have Snakes, gophers, rabid gophers, you never know.
Some of them you got building products.
Stuff.
Somebody gets a nail through their foot.
Oh, sure. Exactly. I was out geocaching with my friend Robin once, and she stepped on a board that had a nail, and the nail went into her foot, and we had to take her and get shots. So
You were geocaching.
geocaching, it's where you hide stuff in like trees, and you go and you find it.
Yeah,
and
you
log it on a website.
You're the guys that walk around looking at empty walls. And
That's seriously it. We walk around looking at empty walls. People are like, "What are you doing?" I'm looking for something.
when I see that, I laugh.
Yeah.
Well, at least they got away from it in the cars when you see these people
Yeah.
driving around parking lots, capturing portals.
Oh, well, that, I admit to that. I clearly admit to that. I don't know, I'm waving.
But that is bad, though. I mean,
Well, you're not supposed to drive into it. The best thing to do is to walk
key
around.
word is not supposed to.
Not supposed to. So you should get out and walk. It's exercise. It gives you exercise. Capturing portals right now.
I love the people when you're at the corner,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, every stoplight.
They're like, I know they're sitting there going, and you're going, should I honk my horn or what?
Yeah, I honk my horn anyway. Because I don't do that. I have a Bluetooth for that. And I don't do anything. I just go, boop, and you push it, and you don't look at anything, and you just talk to people. It's bad enough you're talking and you're distracted, but that's not illegal. You can talk.
But I
if
don't
you're holding
understand
it, if you're holding the device, you get
what did
trouble.
we discover that was so important that we didn't do before?
I know, right? Whatever happened to just having landlines? Wow. Things are ticking and clicking. Is this place about...
There's all kinds of noise in here, yeah.
Whoa, there's people out there cleaning windows. Wow. I've never seen that.
Where?
I just saw somebody outside the window.
Oh, yeah, they are doing it. That's right. That's what that noise is.
Wow. You missed it. It was amazing. I've never seen a person with a squeegee actually cleaning a window. Not like, oh, I hear him again.
How'd you like to have the job in Chicago
No.
or New York?
No, because they have real high rises. Not like Erie, who has these little pseudo rises. They have big buildings.
I heard a guy on TV once say that his job was basically just keep going around the building.
Yeah.
He
Just go around the building for 8
just has
hours.
a lifetime job. You know?
Yeah, for 8 hours, and then when 8 hours is up, you come back and you do it
You
again.
go one side of the building, the other side of the building. You just.
I couldn't do that. I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm afraid of that kind of height.
I've watched them over the years. Well, we get ours washed. It's a project because you got to get a high lift in there.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Go ahead.
You know what we need?
What?
A new city hall.
That has been talked about.
What's wrong with this one?
It's wore out. It's so dilapidated down there, you can't even walk in the hallways without seeing filthy floors.
Well, that might be due to some other problem.
Think so?
Yep, I am.
Had a couple people doing it.
I am not happy with what has happened since. I can tell you that with me, when we had our own people doing it, and they were.
10 times is better.
Yep. Well.
They didn't get into your stuff. They put everything back. They dusted and everything else.
The trouble is, some of the new crew are hard workers, but the problem was allowed to exasperate, and so now it's going to take quite an effort to get it done.
You ever taken your hand on the second rail instead of the top rail?
No, I didn't.
No, the only one being dusted is the top rail by people going up and down.
Yeah, that's true.
Second rail doesn't get anything. You know, where I worked, and I won't say it on the air, but we had a gentleman who was running the janitorial service.
Yeah.
He went around with a white glove, and he checked the corners and everything else. But getting back to your lighted signs and all that,
Yeah.
you remember the one used to be on the corner over there now where Hans is? Way back when?
The one where Hans is. Oh, let me think.
Right next door to Baker's. There was that great big Niagara ship,
Yeah.
Harry Square.
Uh-huh.
And you went down to the Mermaid Inn. There was a mermaid.
Yeah.
Wonder Bar had a moon. I don't think the Busy Bee had anything.
No, I don't seem to remember, but there were some nice neon signs, though.
Riders on the Bay had a good one. Tony's across
Yep.
the way.
I wonder whatever happened to that beer sign where that bottle emptied out.
Somebody drank it.
Yeah, but you remember the one I'm talking about, right?
That was on 10th and State
Yep.
on that billboard. And it spun around when it got full. You know, I bet you don't. Do you remember who made Yacht Club?
That was Kohler.
Yeah, what about Old Pub?
Wasn't that Kohler, too?
Yeah.
And they made Wonderbrow. That was I remember they made Wonderbrow, which was a malt liquor.
That was during the holidays. You know, I used to have a cup down there, Kohler's.
A what?
Cup.
Really?
For the Rathskeller.
Yeah, I was down there once.
Round back.
My dad took me down there. The beer was a lot fresher, like.
Yeah, it was fresher. They had salami and cheeses and everything else.
Yeah, it was like in the basement, wasn't it?
Yeah, around back in the alleyway.
Yeah, I remember you had to go through the alley.
Yep. We used to stop in there on Fridays on the way back to the barn. We'd clean up real quick, get everything done, and stop and have a little sneak.
I remember that Wonderbrow was so powerful.
It was good. It was even stronger than lager.
I know the bartenders didn't like it because about a can or two of that and their customers were done. They couldn't make any beer sales. It was too powerful.
Yes, just like the Mosby brothers. You remember Mosby's was on 3rd Street?
Yeah.
They had the best fish sandwiches going, and they had an aquarium behind their bar.
Well, that was the good old days.
Yep, so I just wanted to...
Yeah, my buddy one time, his dad told him to get a job.
He went over to Mosby's?
No, he went over to Kohler.
I had a bunch of guys I knew worked at Kohler's.
Yeah, they had like a beer break,
Yep.
and then he brought a couple of products home. Do you remember those big, what were they, quart bottles?
Yeah.
Holy crow, he'd bring a quart bottle home and his dad would look at him, he goes, you know, you were about 140 when you went there.
Now you're 210.
Yeah, you're about 210. He said, I think you're sampling the product, you know.
We used to buy fish bowls back in those days for a nickel. For the most 15 cents. The fish bowl held almost 2 bottles of beer.
God.
Yeah.
I miss the old brewery, though.
Yes, I do too. Did you know Jim Houston?
Yeah.
Jim
Well,
went to East and he worked over at the brewery.
I wonder if it's the same Houston I knew, but we had a kid at Tech named that, too. Maybe it's a different Jimmy Houston.
Houston, H-U-S-T-E-D.
I think I met that one, and we had one at Tech, too.
He lived over there on, Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
On
Wait,
7th Street.
you know what I had at home, John? I had a bottle of Wayne Pilsner.
My buddy bought that building.
Still bottled.
Then they still had kegs in the basement.
They did.
Yep.
Isn't that the one St. Martin's operates?
Yeah, it used to be Graham Asbestos. That was originally the Wayne Brewery.
Well, who owns it? Well, St. Martin's owns it now, right?
Yeah, Ed Kimmeth bought it when he had Graham Asbestos.
And then across the street was the keg house, wasn't there, or the cooler house?
Yeah.
And there's like a tunnel underneath?
Yes, there was. Like up there at the regular brewery.
I think they
You got the best beans in town?
They sealed up those tunnels, didn't they?
Yeah. Remember Kearns?
Yeah.
He only opened up around 10 o'clock at night.
The fish place.
Yeah, he served all of the, like Gem City, all the clubs called, and got his sandwiches. He served hamburgers on Pullman loaf bread.
I don't remember the brewery being behind the... when did they tear that down, John?
Where,
The actual brewery.
the brewery closed, I think, around 58 or 59.
It was in the field behind there, right?
Yeah. And like I said, there were kegs down in the basement. The basement was still a dirt floor.
Really?
Yeah, and they had all them kegs down there.
So that building that St. Martin's had was the office, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
You can see where they had that bubble. It looked like a bubble glass.
Yeah.
You stand right down there and see everybody going up and down and Had a lot of good times in there. I tried some of that Wayne beer.
See, I never had it, but my dad liked it. I know that.
It was out of the keg. It was too old. It was shot. Well, that's just like that beer they have down in Punxsutawney that way. I can't think of the name now.
In Punxsutawney?
Down there, yeah, where the one brewery was.
You're not talking about DuBois Budweiser.
No, it's in that area.
I didn't know Punxsutawney had a brewery.
No, they got the beer from this joint.
Oh.
I can't think of it. It's a weird name. Some guy that lived in Sykesville used to bring up cases to us.
Yeah.
And we told him to take it back. That's how bad it was. Worse than Old Pub and Yacht Club.
See, I don't remember the old pub in that, but I remember Simon Pure and Iroquois beer. Remember them out of Buffalo?
Yeah, I remember the one out of Stroh's, too. The Bohemian beer.
Yeah, that was like, it wasn't too good.
I had a pass to go through the brewery down there anytime I went.
It was fire brewed, it better be, right?
Yeah. Just boil it out. Yeah, we'll let somebody else get in here. Take care.
See you, John.
Punxsutawney Pilsner?
Could be.
Wormtown Brewery.
You know, one time there were so many breweries in Erie and bakeries,
Yeah.
just different businesses that, you know, that stuff all, that's gone now, you know.
Punxsutawney Phil promotes his namesake beer at Pittsburgh Brewery. I don't know.
Punxsutawney Phil, there you go.
It's made from real groundhogs. I don't know. Just trying to find some quick information on this beer he spoke of, but I got nothing.
Yeah, we had, well, when I was a kid, they still had two breweries, but the one was on its way out, but before that, I think there was like 8, 9 breweries.
Yeah. I'd like to see some of the stuff come back. I'd like to see classic stuff come back. You see those kind of signs when you go down to Pittsburgh and you drive down, they have a strip. When you drive down the strip, I think they have a ketchup one, like a neon sign, and
those
fish one. And
the woolly fish sign. And
yeah. I think it's cool. It adds character and charm.
When you go to Minneapolis and you're in the ballpark, over the right field wall is the Target Center. That's the arena, named after Target.
Right.
Whereas the rich people call it Target.
Target.
And you know what the symbol of Target is, right?
Yeah, it's the Target.
Yeah, but you know what their spokesperson is, or
the dog.
right?
Yeah.
And there's Bullseye sitting there.
Yeah.
On the side of the building with his tail going like this.
Right.
Hey, it's cool. I'm going, you know, it's neon, you know.
And you could even do stuff like that cheaper. I mean, you could do LED and it looks like neon, and that's fine as long as it has that retro look.
I mean, you go to a town and you see the lights like that.
Yeah.
And it just adds a pitch. Like we were at this Russian restaurant and it was lit with red neon. What makes sense? Okay, you know.
It does, yeah.
But like when I was a kid in Erie, you know, you drive and you've seen all these signs, and it's kind of like people today go, some of the new generation goes, it's ambient light and light pollution. Try that in Las Vegas, you know.
Yeah.
Or try it on Times Square.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that a few times. It's pretty bright. I did, too. I had a hotel room, but you shut the window, you shut the blinds, you're okay.
There's one city in Virginia, Roanoke, right? Got a mountain right in the middle of the city.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, the city's built below the mountain, and way on top, some businessman got a bright idea way back, a bunch of them.
Right.
And they put a star up there.
Yeah.
For Christmas.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it seemed like a good idea. So it stayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like on 4th of July, they make it. It's got a band of the stars, like 3. I think it's a series of 3 stars.
Yeah.
Within. So they goes red, white, blue, or Christmas will be red and green.
I like that. I love stuff like that. Excuse me.
Yeah, you know, and it's.
Yeah.
So now they call it the Star City of the South, and everybody comes to look at it.
I'd love if we could do.
I think
stuff
Bethlehem,
like that.
PA had something like that too. You know.
Yeah. The fact that you're talking about it means it's working. because it's a place you went to and you remember. If we had stuff like that here in Erie, and people went back home and they showed pictures and they talked to like, hey, I saw this really cool thing in Erie. We need stuff like that. If we're getting rid of all the industry, it seems like we're almost forcing industry out. Then if we're going to commit to being a tourist town, then we need some touristy stuff. Because to be honest, we have nothing to look at except Presque Isle.
Well, I was like, Tom Kennedy, when he had the Renaissance building, right? He one day I was driving by, and I look up there, and there's a clock.
Yeah.
Now they took the clock is too expensive to maintain now.
Right.
I've been told, but
Yeah.
I said, man, what a classy touch, because you go out of town, and you see like in Pittsburgh they have this one building that the colors change in the little gondola to match the weather report, right? Or you go to other towns, and like Cleveland, they'll light the side of the terminal tower.
Yeah.
The colors of the Cavs or the Browns or the Indians.
Exactly.
And you go, when you're driving through, it looks like, wow, like,
Yeah.
all we got is these plain buildings with no lights on top.
Do we have official?
No, like years ago, they had the advertising signs like
Yeah, yeah.
hotel sign.
Does Erie have like official colors, like Erie colors, like red and green or red and blue or
Probably like the flag, red, white, and blue.
red, white, and blue? As long as it's not beige.
But
we need to spice up our touristy stuff and get more things that people want
it's
to
like
look
the
at.
tower. That tower looks nice when they light it.
I like how they change the colors for different.
Yeah,
events.
I mean that. When you're at the peninsula, and you look back and you see that,
Yeah. St. Patty's Day, it's green. 4th of July, it's red, white, and blue. Christmas, it's red and green. I love that. I'm glad we have that, but why can't we have
Because we don't have any higher buildings,
Yeah.
It doesn't. But
You know what's cool is if we had a whole bunch of cool lights like that on the bayfront. Just for somebody to drive by Presque Isle at night and see that view, because what city has, as far as I'm concerned, in Pennsylvania, the most beautiful view? Harrisburg. When you drive by Harrisburg across the river at night, and
Really?
that whole city reflects off the river, it's just one of the most beautiful things that you see at night. It's all just this You see the city and then a reflection.
if we had a bigger skyline, I would say that the view of Erie from the peninsula is pretty
Yeah,
good.
it really is, and hopefully
If we had a
some
bigger
more-
skyline,
if
though.
we had a bigger skyline, or you had a way to get up higher out on the peninsula, like maybe some sort of tower out on the peninsula, so people could go to that and look at the city from a height. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. We need touristy stuff. If we're not going to have industry, and it's harder and harder for industry to want to come to town, then what can we bring to town that's going to attract attention? We're not a ski town, so what can we do?
We have to start recruiting business. We haven't done that really.
Yeah. Then, we got loud. Do we have to do that then? I don't know. I can't be part of that because I'm just a citizen, but what can we do?
I was
How
going
can
to
we
say,
do
now
it?
there's a group of merchants that want to do downtown, and some people think we put too much emphasis downtown. But if a certain segment of the private sector is going to start adopting
Yeah.
segments of the city, that's not a bad idea.
No.
The only thing you got to be careful of is that at the end of the day, we're all on the same track, and we're not like, stepping on somebody else's. If we all coordinate our effort together, that's a good idea. Like, if people started, somebody told me the other day they had a good idea was to have a little district set up, each one with a plan, like,
Yeah.
and to coordinate their plan, like what they want to see in their area.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to take a while. But I think it's a good thing when people start putting their own money in. And this is one of the things that was pointed out in that study, was that it's going to take a public-private partnership.
Yeah.
So if people are out there trying to, take care of little parts, that's okay.
Right.
It's never a bad idea.
No. One thing we have to teach people in Erie is how to work together, because there's been a lot of separation. There's a lot of
Erie has a huge inferiority complex. It thinks it's the train that can't.
hey, I like that thing that you're doing.
What?
I'm going to do it, only I'm going to do it and not include you because I think I can do it
What's
better.
that?
Everything. I'm just saying, that's the idea here that people get.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I agree.
Oh, Kaz has this awesome idea for a business. I think I'm going to do it instead. Instead of trying to work with you and give you my energy and working together, I'll just do it separately, and then everything gets spread out and nothing gets accomplished.
What I've always said, and I always like this line, I've used it for years. When people start worried about whose name goes on the plaque,
Yeah.
nothing gets done.
Nothing gets done.
So, if you just do it,
Yeah.
don't worry about the trials and tribulations. And I blame a lot of things. Everybody wants to look for somebody to pat on the back, when sometimes
Yeah.
you don't have to pat anybody on the back.
It's nice just being
It's just a
part
group
of something.
effort.
You know,
Yeah.
I work with a couple of, I know nonprofits is a horrible word in this city, but I'm working with a couple of nonprofits that do good things. And just to be part of it is good. When I do a project with a nonprofit I work with, I'm not like, oh, my name has to go on
Yeah.
that project.
Well, see, like
I just
this.
feel good for doing something.
You look at the Sisters of St. Joseph, they say the sisters.
Yep, we work with them too. They're amazing.
They don't pick out one and say,
No.
but, and that's the thing, just do it and don't worry about who gets credit for it.
Just do it.
There's a lot of work to be done, and everybody wants to get their name up on a plaque. I look at who's going to care that my name is on a plaque
Yeah.
60 years from now or 100 years from now? They're not even going to know me, number one.
What's better, getting your name on a plaque or being the person who made the plaque?
That's it. That's true.
That's kind of cool, because it's kind of like I'm a part of all of that then.
Just be part of a team and say,
Yeah.
what? Let's get it done.
Yeah.
And worry about who gets credit later.
That's right.
But everybody's worried about, that's why I say, if we all start rolling, but Erie has this like inferiority complex. They have to get out of their system that we can't do things. We can, okay? We have to modify some things. We can't take Chicago's plan and make it work here.
Exactly.
You have to water it down maybe, but
The thing we need to do is try, because I think Erie's spent a long time not trying anything.
I think everybody's afraid to move. I mean, they're
Yeah.
it's easier in Erie to move out of the problem, away from it, than it is to solve it.
Sometimes you just got to look past the fear and move forward.
So those people that are sticking it out in Erie,
Yeah.
I congratulate them.
And those people that are running like chickens, you're going to miss it.
Yep, they'll come back. It's kind of like the theory. I can't root for a team that's not winning, so I got to be part of something that's doing good.
Yeah.
Nobody,
I always vote for the underdog, and I like when I play a video game, I choose the losing team.
There you go.
Because I like to be the underdog. I like to come back from nothing and do something. Even if I don't win, I tried. So, there you go. And with that being said, we're out of time.
We have to go. Yes, we do.
We must go. But
I see you again next
I'll
week?
probably be back next
What
week.
do you mean, probably?
I don't know. I never know. I'll
Okay.
try. Goodbye.
Well, you're making a statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.